What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 34 of my Total Warhammer 2 modded Arkhan the Black campaign. So as you saw last time, the last defenders have fallen, given their last as it were, and now the southern portion of the map here, the Kingdom Beast and the Southlands Jungle, are both ready to be taken over. Teotihuacan still stands strong, but we do have our new army belonging to King Setep ready to go, and Arkhan should be able to take this little tiny singular Clan Mordkin stack pretty darn easily. I mean, I feel like there's enough enemies here to not auto-resolve it, so we'll probably give it a go, just for the fun of it. Maybe have the Necrosphinx play around a little bit and some of our other units. But other than that, I'm a lot more excited about the fight with Teotihuacan. In addition to that, we also got the Book of Nagash that was in the Kingdom of Beasts, and we are now at 3 out of 9. So getting there. Certainly getting closer to our, well, not really our objective, because we basically have all of our objectives minus the Nahek thing. But you know, the extra objective, because as I said, I do want to get all the books. Now, the best book of Nagash, by far, is the one in Skavenblight, so we should try to push towards it. For those who don't remember, the Skavenblight Book of Nagash is the one that gives us an extra 2 army capacity. That's pretty ridiculous for the Tomb Kings, for whom armies don't cost upkeep. And in addition to that, weapon strength plus 10% when attacking. Yeah, this is just an obnoxiously powerful book, and some of the others just seem so weak by comparison. Like, +1 capacity for all heroes, yeah, sure, that's fine, but really, that's all. And some hero action cost, which we don't really care all that much about as Tomb Kings either. What the hell? Why would the first book be so weak and the 5th book be so strong? I feel like they should get maybe stronger as they go on, because the first book would have been the one that he wrote upon learning necromancy, right? Whereas, or maybe it's not really ordered that way, because it doesn't seem the power. I mean, the 8th book was pretty good. Effectiveness plus 50% of all commandments. That's pretty decent. That is giving us a lot of extra cash, or at least a reasonable amount of extra cash. And then the 9th book enables recruitment of certain. Oh, that's the one we started with. Yeah. Yeah, some of these are really lackluster. But anyway, Skavenblight's the one we go to. Speaking of Skaven, and not Skavenblight, but a little bit of a preview, let's head to Clan Mordkin over here, shall we? They're not at peace with anyone, or they're not at war with anybody, except Teotihuacan, who I don't really care about talking to, so let's just declare war. And here we go. Arkhan, time to get to work, buddy. Can we attack this little rat outside the settlement? Let's find out. Yes, bring them death, Arkhan. Please bring them death. There's not enough death around.
I do not.
Hey, there we go. That worked out. Oh, damn, they do have a warp bomb available, so we will have to be a little bit careful. That can insta-kill, especially one of our ethereal units. Hopefully we could get them to try to warp bomb either Snuggles or the Sphinx of Usek, which neither one will probably die to a single warp bomb. Although I'm not holding out hope for the enemy army to actually be able to approach our army with our Caskets of Souls firing, but let's find out, shall we? Really depends on how many of them hidden are have stock and approach hidden. Alrighty, here we go. We've seen ghouls versus Skaven, and now it's time to show how the real undead army works. So, we actually start on high ground here with a very advantageous position, massive range for our caskets, and this mountain plateau sort of deal that we've got going on here, acting as a sort of pseudo wall that we can use to prevent the second enemy army from attacking us. Now, the second enemy army, I believe, is the garrison army, so it is much larger, or it's the garrison army and the stack that was in the settlement, whereas the army that's out here is the army that started outside of the settlement. This one is probably going to just get destroyed by our casket fire. Let's see if it can actually reach us, or if it can, how much damage it can actually do. I think what I should have actually done is just not even bothered having our caskets fire at this army. I should have just fired it on the much bigger blob of an army that's over there, but that's okay. I honestly don't really feel threatened by the Skaven at all, at least not with Arkhan's army, so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day what we do. And caskets are obviously doing a pretty great amount of damage. That clan rat unit is just about done, so are these two clan rat units. And now the enemy is going to approach us. They do have a single artillery piece over there. Looks like a plague claw catapult. Now that is also not super threatening to the Whites of Stormnath Tarn, although it's more threatening than a lot of the other units on the field. Oh, and there it is, the warp bomb that I was talking about before we started, going off and doing no damage at all to Snuggles, who is just keeping all of these units and distracting them while they all get wrecked by the artillery. This army is basically crippled already, so we don't really have to worry about it. In the meantime, it looks like the Sphinx of Uskav has charged the warlord of the enemies. This is a pretty fun battle. I actually wish that the enemy army and our army would both stop and just let this happen. I would have loved to see this fight one-on-one, but oh, and it looks like the warlord's actually going to run away a little bit too. Oh, well, no, the zombies and the clan rats can fight amongst themselves. Hopefully these two can fight each other instead. In the meantime, we do have a Skull Storm going on, a fairly rare use of a spell as it doesn't do a crazy amount of damage, but hey, on a giant pile of Skaven, it's probably a little bit more worthwhile than we normally get it. Now, we are, as I said, going to use this plateau as a pseudo wall, so the Whites of Stormnath Tarn are just going to block like this. Meanwhile, all of our Hex Wraiths are going in behind the enemy and just destroying all of the units, preventing them from running away, or rather, preventing them from coming back and killing them as they run away. I feel like we want to auto-resolve the next battle, so we should kill as many of them as possible before that. And it looks like the Warlord is dropping. The Sphinx is not taking too much damage whatsoever. We got Skull Storm, we got Caskets, and look at all these vermin. That's lovely. There we go. Ooh, and they have their unit of rat ogres in amongst the whites. Not that the whites fear any of this. Look at all the catapult shots coming in, doing no damage. And let's see, if these ones are being hit by the rat ogres, I think they've taken the most damage compared to the rest of the army. Not that it's all that much altogether. You know what, we haven't watched the whites fight enough recently, so let's watch a little bit of this. They're certainly holding a line quite well against all of these. This is 4 units against, what, 15-ish units of melee? It's pretty good. I mean, we do have zombie support over here, obviously. And we also have the support of our large units, but nonetheless, still always fun to watch. Now, let's see. The Hex Wraiths should be just about done chasing all those units, and indeed they are, and they will now move around the rest of this army and then approach all this. These are the units that mostly got wrecked by the Caskets of Souls. I did tell them to target all the range units, and you can see all the extra ectoplasm all over the dunes over there. So these units will probably come back, but they won't survive a charge once the Hex Wraiths get here, so we don't really need to worry about any of that. We just need to be patient and wait for our ghosts to, you know, make their debut in actual fighting. Speaking of ghosts, we do still have all of these ones over here. They are fighting the rest of these rats that are left, and they are, honestly, they're wrecking everybody. Oh, and hello, we do have the Warlord coming back. The enemy Chieftain has routed, whereas the enemy Master Assassin is just running away. They do certainly have a lot of heroes on the field, and I think there's another Chieftain right there as well. So, yeah, we're going to have to kill those. Not going to be as easy. Oh, and it looks like another Warp Bomb coming in, almost obliterating this unit of Nehekara Warriors. Now, we do still have the Realm of Souls up, so we will get some of them probably revived or at least healed up. I don't really care about this unit. And I'm glad that actually happened to this particular unit, because I was going to delete it when we replaced it with another ghost unit. I'm really glad that didn't happen to one of our own ghost units, or like in the middle of the Whites of Stormnath Tarn or something, who are still holding the line gloriously. This is always fun. I think I mentioned this before, but I remember doing a little, a battle with, I don't remember how many units of Executioners, but it was a bunch of units of Executioners holding like several stacks worth of Skaven back. It was really fun just to watch them wreck them all, even if it was hilariously one-sided, obviously in the Executioner's favor. And now finally the Hex Wraiths are getting into the battle. Are these guys running, or are they... Yeah, they're some of them are running, some of them are coming back. And yeah, the Hex Wraith's finally going to attack those Plague Claw Catapults. They haven't actually been doing too much. I would actually be curious to see how effective they would be against our Ghost units, as opposed to the Whites, who they apparently can't harm whatsoever, despite the fact that they're artillery. But yeah, it's an SFO thing. The Plague Claw Catapults are really different in SFO as compared to the way they were in vanilla, aren't they? There's more of them. In vanilla, there's still 4, right? It's not 8, unless I'm crazy. But they do a lot less damage. Unless that was changed in vanilla so long ago that I no longer remember. It's also a possibility. And oh, look at these like few Hex Wraiths just smacking these guys around here. Yeah, you guys better run. And there we go. Let's see, the rest of the enemy army should be just about ready to rout. As I said, they are not any kind of threat. The only thing on the field that is a threat is a very nearly dead unit that gets warp bombed. Other than that, everybody on our side is basically fine except for that Nagash warrior unit, who is now at... Yeah, they're at half HP now. They've recovered something like 35 units, and it's still growing. That's Realm of Souls plus whatever casts we were able to get off with the Nagash Mage for you. And now it's just a matter of cleaning up the rest of these Skaven. And there we go, we got the summon. We saw that a little bit back. A little bit of a while back, I should say. And they're certainly helping out. Not that we really need it. I think now it's just more so a matter of chasing down whatever lords. Actually, no, the lords look like they've routed as well. The Master Assassin didn't seem to do anything in this particular battle. He's at nearly full HP, and he's just gonna run away. But that's very Skaven. How all their heroes and lords are running away while the rest of the army dies. This is very, very appropriate, I should say. Anyway, let's speed up the rest of this. We don't really need to watch them get chased down. We've seen the main portion of the battle. Really love the hill that the game gave us to put the caskets on. It's weird that the AI doesn't want to summon the clan rats on top of our artillery. I swear that the AI used to do that. In the same way that the Tomb King AI summons Ushabti on top of your artillery pretty much always, unless it's guarded, in which case it summons them on top of other range units. Shouldn't the Skaven AI do the same thing? I swear when I played back in vanilla, it used to do that. I'm not entirely sure what gives here, because these guys were completely unguarded, which I, in retrospect, should not have done. But hey, whatever.
Yes, his resurrection.
There we go, an easy little victory, but still a fun one. I think every single one of our units got to play, and that's always what you want to see from a battle. The Nagash warriors almost got wiped out, actually, but I think I was going to delete these guys anyway to replace them with more ghost units, so it doesn't really matter what happens to them at the end of the day. Now, let's see. I guess we're going to go and... Do we heal up just in case? Because we'll have to auto-resolve the next battle. Because it's a garrison. Yeah, fine, do it. Find the souls. There we go. And another Tormentor Sword. Okay, that's always lovely. You always want to get as many Tormentor Swords as possible. And then you, Arkhan. Take those for yourself, please. Looks auto-resolvable to me. Let's find out. And everybody got way more hurt doing this. Okay, yeah, whatever. Sure, game, sure. I guess the towers, quote-unquote, had value. Occupy the settlement, and that should be the end of the Clan Mordkin. Perfect. Okie dokie, so then you are going to go into construction rate immediately. Let's delete this building. Going to make some economic buildings here, I think. I guess we could make this into another military hub. We'll see. I mean, we're going to start building a lot more military buildings eventually, but we're not at that stage yet. We still need a lot more economy stuff. Anyway, Arkhan, I do want to get Wind of Death on you. We absolutely want to get Wind of Death. So, I guess we're going to put another point in Raise Dead, even though I never used Overcast Raise Dead. We might as well. Level 2 gives us what? Base miscast chance, spell number of uses, +1 for the regular use. I really wish it would reduce the cost by at least 1. Just 1 came, but apparently not. Alright, let's go raise dead. I'm not going to bother with Gaze of Nagash because it's too expensive for what it does, even if it's a decent spell. And then I guess we'll put 2 more points into Van Hel's Dance Macabre, and then get that get that Wind of Death. I'll think about Curse of Years. We won't have enough points for maxing out both. Actually, we will have enough points for maxing out both, but we'd still be missing the 4 points that we're missing. Oh man, I do want to get the 1 more point for the Sepulchre, for the Necrosphinx that we have. I mean, it's not a huge deal, but it would be nice to have. And same with, honestly, no, Ancient Stone's probably not that worth of an upgrade, although Magic Resistance might help. I'll think about it. Since we're only going to have the 1 Necrosphinx in here, it just doesn't seem worth it to waste the points upgrading 1 unit. Anyway, you have also leveled up your level 37. Pretty damn nice for a Lich Priest, but he's been with Arkhan for a very long time. I guess we're going through Potent, so let's keep doing that. You also leveled up over here. 2 prints that followed us along. You can have yourself, I guess, Assassinate. I mean, we should probably move towards Retinue Retainer as well. Oh, it's fine. Let's move it towards that there. There we go. There we go. And I guess Arkhan's gonna get out here. Have a nice little auto-resolve in the Skull Reef. I don't think he needs to fight the defending Vampire Coast units in there, because he has more difficult battles ahead. Now you can't do anything. Right. You cannot destroy walls. You're just gonna sit here. What about the rest of you? You're here for 3 more turns. Yeah, that's fine. Kind of annoying, but fine. What about you? We can't build the Biblioteca yet, so that's why we're waiting. I guess we could just end the turn here. I know there's a lot of settlement. There's a ton of settlement upgrades that we should probably do. Al-Haik's been waiting for a long time. I guess we could upgrade this Restored Tomb, get even more cash. I have so damn many of these upgrades to go. Whatever. Now you... King Rakash, we do need to head you to Skavenblight in a few, but I want you to get the Skull Island first, because that's a 20k, that's more economy, which means more stuff in general later. So let's do that. Press Gang doesn't really help us at all, but I guess we'll just... I think you can March Stance, right? I don't think there's any of these rogue armies down here. I'm not even sure they go down here. And if they do, it won't matter. Let's go for that Skull Island. Our Ushabti army has to wait because it's still recruiting. So we'll join together and attack Miragliano and then Skavenblight right after that. Lucchini would hopefully be... It's not going to get to level 3 by then. Actually, it might. Then we could get a wall there, and then that would allow it to not die as soon as the enemy tries to attack us in reprisal for attacking Skavenblight. Okay. And now, King Wakaf, you have taken Nagash's art. It's time for you to take the Desolation of Nagash. So I guess what we're going to do is... We're going to March Stance for 1 turn. Yes, that'll hurt us. I guess we could stay here until we heal up to full. But then again, we could do that on the edge right here. Just pop into Entomb Beneath the Sands. Let's do that, I guess. I really wish having the Gashazar would make you immune to this attrition here, but that's okay. Yeah, we'll just go Entomb Beneath the Sands like right... No, not here. Right here. And then we'll wait until we heal to full, and then we'll get out and just go for the Desolation. Hopefully they won't have a full army by the time. Now, who else needs to do something? Ketaskov, you are... Okay, you're waiting here to build a Hyro Titan as well as a War Sphinx for some upcoming armies. Thotep, you're kind of in the same boat. I don't like how these 2 armies are standing here not really doing anything, but we're basically out of the type of troops we could get onto them. What other kind of army we can build? Oh, right, we still have to build the... this is the War Sphinx army. We still have to build the Treacherous army. The army with all the Scorpions, huh? Okay, well, we'll get there eventually. So you're good. Lamizash, you're good. And I don't think I'm going to bother with any of the heroes just because there's too many of them. And it's gotten to the point where it just makes me sick looking at them all. Just because it's way too much admin work. All right, I'll just end the turn, and then we can attack the Teotihuacan. And I don't remember where I was moving you at all, although we should, before attacking, check the heroes that have come available since then, just in case there are some good ones. Oh man, look at all those population surpluses we can't afford. Imric, you want to... Oh, wow. I was gonna attack you, but that's pretty good. Huh. Okay. Damn it, Imric. Who's over here? Is this Imric? I guess we don't really need any of this. Any of these territories. We don't actually get anything from attacking Imric, do we? I guess we could always betray him later if we feel like it. He's not a faction that we have to destroy, and I take it all this territory up here is yellow as well. Wait, Nagash is not yellow, but that's not surprising. I wish we could see what's going on over here. Is this Badlands territory? I would imagine that it is, and we can take all this stuff, but we're probably better off fighting the... You know what, fine, yeah, just get the free money for now, at the very least. I bet all the other factions are upset at the Knights of Kalador for aligning with Arkhan, but hey, what can you do about it? Let's see, anything else we got interesting? No, it doesn't look like it. We're just going to go to the rogue armies and nothing else is going to happen. Dynasty researched. Income from settlement buildings, plus 10%. Okay, so now we're at 17k per turn, which is quite lovely. And construction costs decrease for main settlements, huh? Alright. Now that we've done that, we're still at 294, so we're still at 2%, so that's pretty good. I guess what we'll do is keep heading towards the Heralds. We don't honestly even need the extra army right now, ironically enough. Although the global recruitment duration -1 turn would be swell, at least early on. I mean, we do need this. It's just that I feel like we could get more out of upgrading some of our actual units first. We can also get the other king just to check out what he can do. I really don't like the fact that all he does is skeleton archer chariots and tomb barks. Yeah, that really doesn't help us at all. If he only just freaking leveled up skeleton archer horses as well, or skeleton horse archers, whatever the hell they're called, that would still be helpful. Because then we can make like a random army full of horsemen, but then... yeah, I don't want to waste the 6 turns on this right now. Let's upgrade the... Well, we don't have any Hyrule Titans, but we do have a bunch of Tomb Guard. Sepulchral Stalkers, we do have a bunch of those. I don't really care about the capacity for Direwolves and Feldbats, because we have plenty of those. Now, let's just start doing this stuff. Until we need that new army. It's just we don't have the... You know what? No, you know what? We're going army instead. I just realized that we could just build another Ghost army. That'll be fun. Even more ghosts than Arkhan.
Attend your king.
Especially since we've started generating so many of the Cairn Wraiths. I mean, it doesn't have to be a full ghost army. We could go Cairn Wraiths plus something. And I did want to make that range army as well, so screw it. A little bit of vacillating, what can you do? Now you... Oh man, we have to choose. Do we attack the Skull Reef and have a field battle with this army? Because we won't have enough time for both this episode. Or... You know what, we'll probably have to do that. I imagine when we attack Teotihuacan, they won't fight immediately. Because we're going to have to siege them and wait for our siege towers to do their thing. So yeah, let's do that. Declare war. There we go. And I imagine this is going to be completely in their favor because this is an untested army. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Would we lose if they attacked us? Huh, maybe we should bring in our support army along. That's a little bit concerning. Let's see, 48-48 on the Temple Guard as opposed to 32-69. We do have one Casket of Souls to bring down the towers in theory. But the Tomb Guard aren't really damage dealers. Usually they rely on somebody else to do the damage. So we need to break apart the gate to get the Necropolis Knights into the enemy stronghold. Well, let's try building this stuff for now, and then we'll see how that goes for us afterwards.
To battle for the Creator God.
Yeah, if we can stay here for 3 turns, we can bring in the support army and have the bats. Actually, we could just not summon the doggo right now and just go. You know what? Let's do that. I'd rather have the siege sooner.
I
Right here. And then we do have to get this army all the way down here to the Temple of Skulls anyway, just because we need to recruit some Bone Giants in it. So, yeah, plus it has to connect with Arkhan to give him the Hex rates in the Mortis engine. I'd really love another Mortis engine as well now that I'm remembering this. Yeah, Arkhan's gonna lose Snuggles and then the Hekara Warriors. Alright, well, I'll think about the rest of that. Anyway, settlement upgrades available. We're going to skip those, but before we do anything else, I do want to get the... I was going to build something here. I was going to build one of these treasure tombs in the Great Mortis Delta / the Black Pyramid of Nagash. We have been upgrading a lot of our settlements / a lot of our provinces with ancient Pyramidians and that whole line. Get them more cash, and I think you're doing the same thing. You are indeed. There we go. No upgrades here yet. And I think this is also going to be one of these treasure tombs. I mean, do we really... I mean, yeah, this place makes a decent amount of cash. We probably could use one here. Alright, fine. Build one for now. And then we will still... I mean, we already have walls here. There's still probably a few more things that we need to build, like the Biblioteca and maybe a Bone Giant thing. But Lamia is going to make a decent amount of cash, so we might as well make use of it in that way. Now you, friendo, you need to go into Entomb Beneath the Sand stance, which is at 50%. So we're going to send you out to, let's say, here. That's 52. There you go. And you can't entomb because it's bugged. Great. It says we have 52 remaining. And we can't. Okay, fine. Then you're going to move out here. Because you are not taking damage there. You know what? Screw it. I think we're just going to approach them with a herd army. They won't have enough to defend against us most likely anyway. It's okay. Probably better this way that we don't waste the extra time anyway. Okay, well, who else needs to do something? Damn, so much to move. Alright, Arkhan. Oh, okay, yeah, so if we're not fighting Teotihuacan, I guess we are going to fight for that Skull Island. And then we'll fight Teotihuacan next episode. Alrighty, so go. This should be reasonably fun, because this army is probably our weakest army. It's not leveled up at all, and it's got basic troops, despite them being special versions of said basic troops. So let's raid the Cove. Obviously going to have to make a cut here, because we've already fought a cinematic battle, but so here it goes. There we are, and though the auto-resolve says this is completely to our advantage, I still think it'll be pretty fun, so let's see. Alrighty, here we go. Time to see how our low-tier basic army performs. So, the first thing we're going to do is target these mortars. They are the biggest threat on the field by far, as they could do so much damage to our relatively weak and non-damage resistant troops. The skulls are doing okay damage. I actually thought that they'd do more with both Screaming Skull catapults focusing this thing, but that's okay. We should still bring it down fairly quickly before it does way too much damage. In fact, wait, has it? Huh. I'm not seeing any damage on our side, but let's see where the mortars are dropping. And, oh, a lot of them I see have missed. Oh, there's one. Okay, yeah, so only one has hit thus far, it looks like. Oh, here's another one, but that was more of a glancing hit. A little bit of damage, but soon the mortar will be done, and then we won't have to worry about this nonsense anymore. It looks like a couple more skulls here. Oh, and it looks like our Krokagar Legion finally get to fire. I love these fire arrows. Looking real swell, even though they're anti-large, so they're not going to be as amazing against infantry, obviously. Still pretty damn entertaining. And yeah, it looks like this map sort of favors the enemy because they do have aquatic units, so they do run through the aquatic area, but it's not like we're going to be fighting in the water, although I do end up sending our Lord in there. Now, it looks like the Depth Guard are going to breach our lines. These ones are at half HP, and let's see about the rest. We got a full HP Depth Guard unit right here, and a half HP, less than half HP one right there. Do they only have these three? Okay, well, at least there's not too many of these things. Obviously, these are the dual sword depth guard. They're designed to wreck the kind of troops that our army is made up of. So that's going to be a concern if any of them survive. And here we go, a charge. At least these ones are polearm variety. So we should be able to hold off and destroy them relatively easily. There's also this frickin' thing to worry about, the Rotting Leviathan. Even though the Krokogar Legion is anti-large, they are still a basic unit, and they're still not going to do a crazy amount of damage to it. We got 3 of them firing on it right now, and they are trapped in the unit of Zandri Black Shield, but it's only dropped about, what, 20% HP maybe, something like that? And let's see, this unit of Death Guard is fortunately already starting to disintegrate, whereas this one, the one that's attacking King Nakash's Scorpion Legion, is doing fairly decently. It's still got most of its models intact, and it looks like it's kind of wrecking King Nakash's Scorpion Legion. Unfortunate for these guys. But hey, what can you do? And this is what I was talking about. I decided to send our Lord to try to duel the enemy Pistol Lord. And unfortunately, despite the fact that our Lord is looking like a fairly decent duelist in terms of his stats, the enemy does have the zombie pirates to help the Lord, in addition to the fact that the Vampirate Lord is aquatic, so they will have the buffs here, whereas we will have the debuffs. So, yeah. Still, I do like the Lord that we have towering over these guys on his skeletal horse. There we go. And wait, you have a sword and a and a halberd? So wait, do you count as anti-infantry or anti-large or anti-both? I'm gonna actually check that later. Let's see. Well, at least the enemy range units aren't particularly resistant to all of our range fire. It looks like they're going to get brought down fairly quickly and then disintegrate once they drop below the threshold. There we go. Lots of these fire arrows coming in. You'd think that the zombies would be... would take more fire damage, but I don't know whether that's actually the case, even though it would make sense from a lore perspective. Now, let's see. Rotting Leviathan still has a lot of HP, but fortunately, the Zandri Black Shields are holding it down fairly well. It's not actually doing a lot of damage, despite tanking a lot of damage. Over here, we have our Zandri Black Shields, who have taken quite a bit of damage themselves, and I did get a cast off on them just to try to heal them up a little bit. I did not have, I believe, the Neru's Incantation of Protection, unfortunately, so they are still taking damage, but the damage that they were taking was due to the range fire as they ran up to these guys, not in melee, because the range units aren't really all that concerning in melee. Over here we have these melee units chasing these ranged ones down, but they do get engaged, unfortunately, by this zombie pirate deckhand mob that's all the way back here. And it looks like we're going to take some range damage. Oh, no, but it looks like the enemy is sort of engaged as well, but also tries to withdraw. Sort of a little bit of a back and forth there. And look at this unit of Depth Guard. They are still wrecking this King Nakash's Scorpion Legion unit. And that's probably our second most resistant unit that we have. Granted, once again, all basic units, but nonetheless. Good job, Depth Guard. Yeah, these guys are going to rack up the kills, aren't they? They've been here since the start, and they really aren't all that hurt. Now, fortunately, the rest of the army is pretty much defeated. This has been going on since the very start. These Bright Shields have been fighting the zombie pirate deckhand mob for ages, and neither one is really coming out on top. It looks like... Well, actually, no, I'd say we are coming out on top. It's just that we have had the Realm of Souls heal us up, so it's kind of hard to say what it would have been without that, but hey, that's okay. We're still winning this, and as well we should. I mean, this is a very, very basic unit versus a special version of a basic unit. We should definitely come out on top, even though we don't really have the upgrades for them. And finally, the Rotting Leviathan does go down to our concerted range firepower, even though it took really, really long time. But I am enjoying the way this battle is unfolding, just because of the added difficulty of these being basic units. It's always fun. There we go, and it looks like you are going to get focused down by range since our Lord can quite manage to kill you, especially because of your aquatic trait and the fact that he got damaged while fighting down here. But as soon as you're dead, Fleet Admiral. Wow, this is every single one of our range units focusing incidentally, and really not doing a lot of damage. But that's basic units for you. And looks like the enemy Carronade is still firing, and down you go finally. Alright, with that, the enemy army should start disintegrating. This damn Depth Guard unit's still alive, still doing damage, but now that they're disintegrating, we can rest easy. Or rest uneasy, because we're undead. And finally, taking these guys down, although I really am curious to see how much damage we dealt with. These guys did fairly reasonably well. Our melee units, I think our spears did the worst. Whereas, I guess we'll find out in a few seconds. But at least we came out on top. Now we know that this army can handle anything in the sea, so we can freely just keep it out there, and, well, as long as it stays away from rogue armies, it can at least destroy and take anything from the islands and get us free econ stuff.
The realm of souls fills with my foes.
Ooh, quite a bit of a tougher battle than I expected, but, you know, it was still quite a fun one, at least in my opinion. Always enjoy fighting with these basic units, especially into the mid-game, because I miss fighting with the basic units. They're often very, very fun to deal with. And look how much damage this one unit of Depth Guard dealt. 300 units. If this was part of one of my armies, I definitely would have given these guys a name. Damn. You guys certainly pulled your weight. 27k damage. I doubt anybody on our side did anywhere near that much. Not even the artillery. The range did okay. 13k on this one, 12k on this one, 14 on our Regiment of Renown, but otherwise, let's see. Well, this unit of Zandri Black Shields did okay. I think both, yeah, I saw that the Bright Shields were quite good there, and they did a fair amount of damage, both of them. Quite a bit more than all the other melee units. I guess we're going to have to be careful and try to use these guys as attackers as much as possible, and that's why we did put them on the flanks, as they are the axe infantry. They're also more fragile than I think the black shields and the golden host are, so it does make sense. A little bit disappointed in how little damage the King Nagash's Scorpion Legion dealt. 1 kill, 840 damage. I wonder why that is. They were in the very center of the line, and I believe they were fighting the Depth Guard, and I think these were probably the Depth Guard that went through them like a hot knife through butter. But hey, anyway, once again, fun battle. We still were victorious, and we're gonna go for, I guess, endless. Man, I'd like the 25% campaign movement range, but it's only for 2 turns. It's not really worth it, is it? If it was more, I'd take it. And we got a Feather Foe Torque, which we don't really care about either. Alrighty, well, now that we have that, we can move back to our own territory. We're still healing because I take it this is a contested, shared area. Okay, you can move back into Myrmidons, or even just land out here near Lucini. In fact, we should upgrade Lucini while we're at it. And then we'll attack the Skaven with both of these armies after that, because obviously this army is only meant to be in the sea. I mean, I know that these units are too weak to actually fight a real elite army, so that's why it's going to be with the help of the Ushabti, who are now ready to go. What we really should get here is probably a few agents, just so that we can identify what's going on here. We should probably do that as soon as possible while we're at it. Like, you, Serpent Carver? No. We want a Sphinx Carver is what we want. You know what, I'll deal with this between the episodes. We're basically out of time anyway. I'll probably hire a few heroes, as I said. We got some admin stuff to do in terms of building, and a few heroes probably to move, despite my, annoyance at having to do so. Next time, we will have Arkhan move out and probably auto-resolve the skull, then move back in and try to meet up with the support army. The support army will do that, however, only after we have taken Teotihuacan. King Setap is going to be the main army that's doing that. We're going to send King Setap to go and attack the remnants of Malice's army. I'm not sure. Who's he fighting here? He's fighting Eats, Exiles of Nehek and Heralds of Ariat. What the hell? I guess he might have more... Or does he? No, he does not. I was about to say he might have Hagrief itself, but he doesn't appear to have anything. Just this one territory, and his army... I don't see Malice himself. I don't understand who killed him. Huh. I guess, unless there's a... unless it's one of these factions. Is Eats here? I think Eats is here. That's probably what killed him. Well, regardless, that will be for King Setap to deal with, and this will probably happen in a few turns, but I think we'll be fine. We will also move our Ghoul army into the Desolation of Nagash. We probably won't bother fighting this. Probably we'll auto-resolve it if we can. We'll see. It really depends on if the auto-resolve is willing to let us do this. I'd really rather not waste the time on that, and after we have the Desolation, we're going to have to start moving out here and pray that Kalidor, or the Knights of Kalidor, do not take Clan Angren's territory, because if they take Caracade Peaks, we're going to have to declare war on them, too. We need all those books, man. Alrighty, well, that's a problem for next time. So with that said, as always, I do appreciate any and all feedback in regards to the gameplay or the way I do things on this channel. If you have a second, please do take it to leave a like and a comment to support the channel. It really does help. As always, all glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.